Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gertis, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
All right, Justin, I'm going to do my best. I just had a bowl full of Nick Wiedekamp's chili, and I want to try to get through this if I can.
That was delicious.
That was something special.
Ooh,
yeah,
man.
he knows how to get things done. We should just start a podcast with him. Just to talk about it. Just talk about smoking briskets and chili and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good ideas, a lot of good flavors.
All right. So as you know, as real estate wealth managers, and you're obviously on the lending side of things, we're very creative, very good at finding very unique investment opportunities for our clients and for our podcast listeners. This is going to be a new one for me. Like, this is 20 plus years doing this. I have never even thought about trying to sell this. And it's not our listing, so just keep in mind. But in Bisbee, Arizona, for $299,000, you can buy a 10-acre property that right now is a cemetery.
I mean, that right there scares me away.
Okay, so it's not a matter of whether, because obviously
It sounds like a great price too. I'm sorry.
yeah, it does sound like a great price for 10 acres, but
yeah.
it is Bisbee, Arizona. So I don't know, and I say that I'm not making fun of Bisbee, Arizona. I'm not as familiar with the market down
Sure.
there, so I don't know. So obviously, as an investor, if the numbers work and you say, hey, this is what I'm going to do with it, and here's the use and different things, that's not really the question that I want to ask you. The question I want to ask you is, would you, because I think there's a home on there, but would you build a home and would you live on a cemetery?
I'm going to say absolutely not.
Why?
And it was very easy for me to be, because I've heard stories of ghosts and things like that, and I just don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't want to have, a ghost push my kid down the stairs or something. Maybe I don't build stairs or something like that. But I just don't even want to. I don't even want to try to experience it, especially for $300,000.
But think about, everybody wants a very peaceful, quiet neighborhood.
That's very.
I don't think that you're going to get, I don't know about the peaceful aspect,
Right.
but I can tell you, this is going to be a very quiet one. And we just came off of Halloween. I would be doing like the biggest freaking
Haunted
house
houses. Oh, yeah.
stuff, where you got to go through the different, the headstones and get candy and have people dressed up as skeletons and mummies and things like that. Would you take your kids?
Listen, I will absolutely come visit you and bring my family, but I'm not living there. That means I could leave, go back to my own peaceful bed. You have to stay there with them.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
See, you do?
I do.
Okay, well, talk to me. What do you think they're...
My
What are they? Like, I mean, what are they? And have you ever seen or interacted with a ghost?
No, but my grandmother's, she's had an experience back in like 1919, something like that. And she's dead now, but she told us a story when her and her 8 siblings lived in this home out in the middle of the country in Kansas. They were all downstairs. They were cooking dinner. Her parents had taken the horses to the store or something. And
Are we gonna talk about horses right now?
I know again, but there was beating upstairs in their house, like somebody running across the floor. And her brothers went up there, couldn't find anything. And this is before they had electricity out there, and they all moved the entire kitchen outside to cook dinner. And when their parents got there, everything was outside. Dinner was ready outside, but they weren't going back in the house. And my grandmother is not the type of person to tell any type of stories or fibs. And so I absolutely believe, because the look on her face when she was telling the story was priceless. And I've heard other stories of things like this, and I just don't want to experience it.
All right. Well, if you are interested in buying a 10-acre cemetery, we'd love to help you. Or more importantly, as an investor, if you're looking for very creative investment opportunities to build your wealth in real estate, go ahead and text the word GHOST to 623-AZ-RECON. That's GHOST to 623-AZ-RECON. Now, there's all kinds of ways to make money. Here's what I would do. I remember a couple of years ago, I took the family to D.C., and we did I wouldn't call it a bus tour, but it was like a private tour.
Yeah.
And then we just recently went to Boston, and we did one of those ghost tours and so forth. Like, I thought about this, like, if I was doing a private tour in D.C., or I could even come up with one in Phoenix, do private tours.
They do them here.
But just make up crap. Like, just there's where Thomas Jefferson had his house, and did you know and just start making up stuff. So I would make up
all kinds
of stuff where all the old cowboys, Billy the Kid's ghost lives here, and just make up stuff. Nobody would know, and I think I can make money on this.
Well, I also wonder, how much does the cemetery make, and how many lots are there left? You could sell lots, things like, I don't know how much lots go for these days, but...
All right, well, this is what is referred to as a green cemetery, but it has multiple use. It is a multiple use property, according to the listing agent. And I know about green cemeteries, and I know about green burials and funerals now, because one of my wife's clients, this is what they do. And so what that is, when it's considered something green, or a green burial, or whatever the case is, there's no embalming involved, no concrete vaults, and the containers, or the coffins, or whatever you want to call them, they are all natural, so that you don't have that rotting and so forth. But that's what I told her. If there's no embalming, if you want to be buried here, Justin, and you want a natural or a green burial, dude, we are going from the coroner's office straight to the ground. There's no embalming.
No.
Embalming, I should say.
And the containers would rot because it's natural containers.
But it'd be biodegradable.
I wonder what an acre actually goes for in Bisbee, Arizona.
I don't know. You're asking questions. So how could we, if we bought it, how could we leverage this? I'm thinking, because there's the haunted hotel in Jerome, Arizona, that people love to go to. I haven't been, and I need to go because it supposedly has one of the best hamburgers in the entire state of Arizona.
I'm surprised you haven't been there.
I would create, and I don't know whether there's a market for it, I would create a haunted bed and breakfast.
I'm sure there's a market for it. I'm sure there's a market for it. So, like I said, I went to one of those ghost tours here in
ghost
Phoenix,
tour
in Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But there was quite. We went in a van, and there was quite a few people within this van, and the guy said he's busy quite a bit. I'm sure there's a market for it. I think there's people that seek this kind of thing. They're looking to have some sort of interaction or see something. I bet you could build some sort of bed and breakfast there and have plenty of activity. Listen, we have a bed and breakfast on a cemetery. You're welcome to walk around at night. We'll tell you some stories and show you Billy the Kid's grave.
I'm telling you, I think you can make some money on it. If you want to make money on this 10-acre cemetery, or looking for creative investment opportunities, go ahead and text the word GHOST to 623-AZ-RECON. That's GHOST to 623-AZ-RECON. According to the owner or the seller, or according to the agent, and quoting the seller, he has had some moments where he's felt the presence of the spirit world. There are a lot of different souls here, so I can't imagine you couldn't feel something. If I lived on a cemetery and all I felt was an occasional presence, I'm calling BS. Like if you're living on a cemetery, you're going to see some things, you're going to hear some things, you're going to feel some things, not just the occasional presence.
Like feel.
And what does that mean? So that's just the thing. I think I'm not a believer in ghosts. Now, and I don't want to digress into demons and angels and stuff like that. I think there's a case to be made in that. I just, when you die, I don't think there's this holdover that you stick around and your soul's got to do X, Y, Z. And I know a lot of people do, But I think for a lot of people, especially if you're living on a cemetery, I think your imagination's got to play a huge part in this.
I'm sure you're seeking that feeling.
It.
Yeah, you're looking for that feeling all the time because you live on a cemetery. Of course, you're gonna feel some sort of presence because I feel like that's what your brain's gonna put in your body. You're gonna feel it, right?
Yeah, and then comes the question. I don't know whether this makes me the jerk. Like if I got 10 acres and it's basically $30,000 an acre, can we just uproot everybody and move them somewhere else and then just have 10 acres? But I don't know if you'd want to do that. I think the cemetery is really the draw, or you build a little mini subdivision around it. I don't know whether there's a market, but I would 100% have no issues living next to a cemetery or on a cemetery. I think it would be really, really cool. There's just no way in hell I would ever talk my wife into it. There's just not a chance. And then you could, I don't know whether it would be in bad taste, you could, bring your horses down there and just let them, you don't even have to mow the cemetery.
No,
just let them graze.
Yeah. Bring some goats and have a full farm. Don't mind the animals. Go ahead and see your loved ones.
All right, and so the best part about this is it is just situated a few miles north of the Arizona-Mexican border, and you can actually see several of the mountain ranges in Mexico. I don't know whether that adds to it or not. So now we're having tamale cook-offs. This is just mariachi bands and chili. Oh, my gosh, there's a lot. All right, well, anyways, I don't know whether any of you listening or watching this is in the market for a 10-acre cemetery in Bisbee, Arizona. But if you are, we can make your dreams a reality. But more importantly, we're really focused just on the creative aspect, the creative side of investing in real estate. We're always on the hunt, always looking for those opportunities out there. And if you want to be part of our ecosphere and participate and benefit from those opportunities, all you got to do is text the word GHOST to 623-AZ-RECON. That's GHOST to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.